guys, welcome back to some more reviews, and this is a little bit of a late review, but it is the weekend, so I am staying up a little bit later. But I'm in a movie reviewing mood, so I will be reviewing Stephen King's Silver Bullet, a classic to some people. I hear, it's from what I've heard, a lot of people think it's a classic. I think it's definitely a good movie. I really enjoyed it, but I do have problems with it. So what I consider to be a classic, I don't know. I mean, it's pretty good. I enjoyed it, but there are some problems with the movie. First of all, I'll list off the good things first. I really enjoyed the score. Thought it had great music to it. It was shot well. It was acted well. It was a great cast. You got Gary Busey. You got Corey Haim. Rest in peace, Corey Haim. He was in Lost Boys. He's been in a lot of movies. Great actor, and rest in peace to Corey Haim. And he did a great job in the movie. And the cast isn't the problem. The setting isn't the problem. The plot was pretty good. The music was pretty good. The music was pretty decent. And especially the make effects. The make effects were done well as well. It was just I think it was just like, I know it's 95 minutes, but the pace kind of got a little bit sluggish, which is weird because I know it's a 95-minute movie. It shouldn't be sluggish at all, but it had those moments where it got pretty slow, and it got like pretty much not as bad as Salem's Lot, because Salem's Lot pretty much the whole movie I was like, okay, can we please pick up the pace, or can we please do something interesting, a little. Like I said, the only scenes I liked in the movie were if they involved the vampire, or I thought that scene that was done in the kitchen area, in the kitchen scene in the movie, I thought that was done well. But that's that movie. I did a review in that movie, and so it's not as bad as Salem's Lot, but there's just some times in the movie where it does get sluggish. The pace, and that, and there were some ideas. Like the ending kind of felt a little bit weird because it's pretty much where I'll get to the ending. And it was released in 1985 at 6.3 on IMDb. It was directed by Daniel Attias, who has directed, let's see what else he's directed. He directed a lot of TV stuff. Directed some episodes of Lost. A lot of TV stuff. So this is pretty much from what I can see. I might miss a few movies that he's made, but pretty much this was pretty much the only movie that I'm seeing on this list so far that he's made. So it's his first movie, I think. Hang on, let me go back. Yeah, this was his first movie. This was his first, basically his director debut. And he made this movie, so I thought it was well directed. Definitely a well directed movie. And that's the thing. I mean, it's a well made movie. It's just, I don't think it's, I don't know. I don't consider it to be a classic because there are problems to it, or I should say a problem to it. Or I mean, I don't know. Like I said, problems is the pace can kind of get a little bit sluggish. Also, there are some points in the plot that I kind of was like, what? Like the ending, I thought was like a very what ending. Like, I mean, it made sense, but it was sort of like, basically what it's about. I mean, I really enjoyed the story. Basically, what's about is you got this town, basically, where there's this town. Like I said, I repeat myself, my bad. And basically, it follows the story of these kids. You've got. Hang on, you got try to find. Okay, you got Marty Kozlov, played by Corey Haim. You got Jane Kozlov, played by Megan Follows. And basically, they are with their family. They moved to this town. Well, they live in this town, and their Uncle Red comes up. Gary Busey does a great job in the movie. Comes up. Fun characters, always joking around, having a good time with his role, and having fun with the role. And Gary Busey's a great actor, so I mean, he did a great job in the movie. And during when they're living there are these attacks that happen, vicious werewolf attacks that happen, and basically that's pretty much the plot of the movie is this werewolf terrorizing this small town. And you've got this character where she's upset that her husband left her and she's pregnant. Little bit of a sympathy scene where you see the character. You got the character Jane. She sees this girl. Like I said, the guy leaves her, and pretty much she's stuck, pregnant, and he leaves her. And it's sort of you feel a little bit of sympathy for her, and you're like, oh, that's kind of messed up. And pretty much you see her later on. She's getting ready to commit suicide. I actually think they actually have a picture of Stephen King there. I think it's a picture. Yeah, it is. It is a picture of Stephen King right there. And it's funny. It's like, that's Stephen King. And she's getting ready to commit suicide, taking pills, and a werewolf comes in. And I will say the werewolf looks pretty cool. Makeup effects done very well. Practical effects. She gets basically clawed and ripped to pieces. You got that death scene. You got this cool scene that's well shot where they're in the woods, and there's this like layer of fog, and these people are getting like cut in the face, and it's like practical, and they're getting pulled into the fog and they're disappearing. All you hear is them screaming and getting ripped apart, and it's really suspenseful. And pretty much because they pretty much go after the werewolf themselves, because you find out that the police aren't doing much, so they go after the werewolf themselves, and they don't have any luck. They all end up getting killed. And pretty much Gary Busey, it's basically Marty and Jane. Marty's this kid in a wheelchair who is a fun character, built this really cool theme where, puts like basically propeller on the back of his wheelchair, and he presses a button, and he pretty much just, the propeller goes off and he can like speed through the road and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. And he gets the name Silver Bullet, calls the wheelchair Silver Bullet, so that's where we get the title from. Which is actually a really cool thing because you think it's the Silver Bullet as in, it's on the DVD. It's also on the poster on IMDb. You think it's like a silver bullet like that. Like an actual silver bullet, where it could be that, but it also could be the wheelchair that's called Silver Bullet. And I thought that was a clever idea. And like I said, it was based off the book the book's called Cycle of the Werewolf, which I haven't read. I've only read Carrie. I mean, a little bit of Carrie, a little bit of Christine, and a little bit of Cujo. The reason I didn't finish the book is because, well, the books is because I was busy and I didn't have the time to. But from what I read of them, they were pretty good. And I didn't read Psycho of a Werewolf yet, so I don't know if it sticks to the book very well. I don't know if it's as good as the book or if it's not as good as the book. I don't know. But so yeah, it's based off the book. And sorry about that, I had to mention that. But yeah, let's get back to the plot, I guess. And pretty much, like I said, he builds the propeller on the back of his wheelchair, and it can speed, goes turbo speed, down the road and stuff like that. Pretty cool idea. And it's pretty much about Marty finding out about the werewolf, and Jane gets convinced there is a werewolf, and then they convince their uncle, Gary Busey, and he ends up believing them, and then they get actual Silver Bullet made. And pretty much it's the end of the movie. Now this is another problem I had with the movie. The ending. It was a little bit, it felt like it was a little bit rushed. What I mean by that is you had like 10 minutes left in the movie, 15 minutes left in the movie, and it was like they gotta have room for credits. So I was like wondering, I'm like, how is this movie gonna end? Because they gotta have time for credits, and like the 18-minute, 15-minute movie mark, at the time, and I was like, so how is this movie gonna end? Because they gotta have time for the credits. So it's about 10 minutes left, or about 15 minutes left, because they gotta have time for the credits. So so yeah, like I said, it was like 15 minutes of the movie. Well, and you gotta have time for the credits. So yeah, it'd be about 13, 12, maybe 11, minutes left. So I was like, so how is this ending gonna go? And pretty much, it feels rushed. That's the big thing. That's the big problem with the ending of the movie, in my opinion, is it feels very, very rushed. Because pretty much they get the gun loaded, they're ready, they're in the house, they got the house, locked up and stuff like that. And then the werewolf, who you find out is basically he's a priest. A priest played by, try to see if I can find the character. Trying to see if he's on the cast list. He's the guy from People Under the Stairs. Let's see now. I gotta see who's on the list. He was in People Under the Stairs, but played the crazy father. Try to get the character's name on here. Can't see, and I don't remember the character's name by heart, so I don't know like which character he played. So all I can give you guys right now is that, oh, here it is. Okay, he's like right at the top of the list. I don't know how I didn't see that. Everett McGill from People Under the Stairs. He's also from Dune, and he's also from Quest for Fire. And he did a great job as the priest, or the reverend. He did a great job as the reverend because, at first you think it's a pretty, you think he's a good character, but then you end up finding out that he knows that he's a werewolf. And, he has like an eye patch right here because the werewolf gets his eye pretty much shot out. And you find out that he has an eye patch the next day. You're like, oh crap, he's the werewolf. So that's another good thing. It's got a great twist to it. You're like, holy crap, that guy's the werewolf. And pretty much they go to their house. They lock up the house. They got the bullet and the gun. And werewolf comes in, and there's barely even a fight, and they just shoot it, and it dies. And then it's a good ending. But I was like, that was like very rushed. Like it was literally like they said, oh crap, there's 5 minutes left in the movie. Let's just have the werewolf come in and get shot. That's pretty much what happens. He just comes in, he struggles a little bit with the people, fighting them and stuff like that, a little bit of fighting, and pretty much they, they get the gun, they shoot the werewolf, and it's the end of the movie. And the werewolf dies, and the movie ends. I get it, it's not a downbeat ending. I get it could have been a lot more depressing ending, but still, it was like one of those endings where I was like, that felt like very, very, very rushed. And also Stephen King was involved in the screenplay of the movie as well. So not only was he behind the novel, he's also behind the screenplay. So yeah, they had Stephen King involved in the movie. So that's why there's a lot of good things to it. And like I said, the ending was very rushed. There are certain moments in the movie that were kind of, I don't know, like, I can't really point out any of the scenes that really I thought were, there were just a few scenes that I thought were, like the ending, it just felt a little bit rushed, and, the ending didn't feel natural. It just felt like it was just like, oh crap, we got 5 minutes, let's go. Werewolf comes in, fights a little bit, shoots him, he's dead. End of movie, gotta have time for the credits. That's what it felt like to me. But, besides the ending being a little bit too rushed, and besides the pace getting a little bit sluggish at times, I really enjoyed the gore effects, the practical makeup effects. I really enjoyed the score. It was shot well, it was acted well, it was directed well, and it was written well. And for the most part, I don't have a lot of problems with the movie. So yeah, it's my review on Silver Bullet. And so yeah, like I said, overall, decent movie. It's more than decent. It was actually pretty good. So yeah, enjoyed Silver Bullet. And so yeah, thanks for watching my review on Silver Bullet, and I'll see you guys next review. Bye guys.